Let's pivot to the NFC. There's not as much in question, if you will. You've got 5 spots locked in, and there's still obviously guys and teams that are hunting for those final few spots. Minnesota, Atlanta, and New Orleans still in it, even though last night it felt like the end of the year just with the way they played. But as you can see, you got Green Bay locked in. Dallas wins that division. The Rams in a great spot, and Tampa as well. So the NFC, it's a race for 2 spots, and San Francisco, to me, and the Philadelphia Eagles appear to be the 2 teams primed to hold those positions. But we do know there's injury news in the Bay Area for the Niners.
Yeah, with Jimmy Garoppolo, he's got a torn UCL and a fracture in that same thumb. It's the right thumb. For a quarterback, that's obviously bad news. But, it remains to be seen if this is actually, not ideal for the 49ers. San Francisco fans, many of whom are my friends, don't seem to be Garoppolo's biggest fan. He's a middle-of-the-pack quarterback in the NFL at best. So, there's still a chance that he's able to go. But if he's unable to go and Trey Lance gets the ball, are we certain that doesn't end up being a positive? Like, I'm not predicting it necessarily, but I know a lot of San Francisco fans have wanted to turn to the rookie quarterback for a while. And now, because of an injury, the 49ers might have no choice but to do that now.
Very different circumstances on a lot of fronts, but I do think back to when the 49ers turned to Colin Kaepernick when Alex Smith went down with a concussion, and they rode that all the way to the playoffs and then eventually a Super Bowl in that time frame. But this is a much different circumstance. Trey Lance is coming off 1 game as a college quarterback, his last year there at North Dakota State. He's very unproven. In his limited action, has proven to be uber talented, explosive at times, but also just raw. And this is not a time to be in that position. Now, granted, they take on the Houston Texans, who look to be a team that's playing for 2022. But as I mentioned earlier, they just knocked off the LA Chargers. So they're a team that has a lot of fight. This is going to be a challenge for the Niners in as a big game as they've had in a long time to get back into the postseason after a few years away, after that Super Bowl run all the way to nearly beating the Chiefs in Miami. We got to start in the NFL because the playoff race is heating up. Monday Night Football, the last game of Week 16, had the Dolphins taking on the New Orleans Saints, 2 teams desperate to stay in the playoff picture. And as you can see, it was all defense and all Dolphins in this one. They win this one 20-3, 7 wins in a row for the Miami Dolphins. This after losing 7 straight. Big picture here, GP, your main takeaway from this one.
Well, first and foremost, it was history. I mean, Miami becomes the first team in the history of the NFL to win 7 straight games after losing 7 straight games. Now, is it the most impressive 7-game winning streak in the history of sports? Obviously not. The combined record of teams that they've beaten in this winning streak is 36-69. It only features 1 win over a team with a winning record, but let's not let the details get in the way of what is a tremendous story. Miami has gone from 1-7 to 8-7, and now they have a legitimate chance to maybe, just maybe, finish tied at the top of the AFC East, or perhaps win it. I mean, just a tremendous job from that coaching staff and those players, and the idea that the offense, at least, is being led by a former Alabama quarterback and an Alabama receiver is something that I know at least one fan base at the collegiate level is also enjoying.
I'm glad, Gary, you brought up that our opponents have not been really the top of the class over the course of this 7-game win streak. But as we're seeing week to week in the NFL, winning is hard, and winning consistently is hard. Just look to the LA Chargers, a team full of talent, and they lose to the Texans last Sunday. So the fact that this team appears to have found a confidence and identity that's rooted in their defense and their offense, running the ball and making enough plays in the passing game off of Tua's arm to put themselves in a position to win games is a positive, especially in an AFC where each team, even as high as the Kansas City Chiefs, have visible flaws. So if there's a year to be able to make an unexpected run, this could be it. But Miami's going to be tested in the coming weeks for us to know really what they are. We flip it to Offensive Rookie of the Year. This is where it could get contentious, and I think it's going to be a tight race going all the way down to the wire of Week 18 of the season. I'm going with Mac Jones based off of body of work. His last 2 games have not been great, but his completion percentage for a rookie is record-setting at the moment, or at least close to that. And then I factor in just all that he's had thrown on his shoulders, going into New England, 2 years removed from Brady, having that team and that offense playing at a playoff caliber level. Yes, they have a quality defense, great infrastructure and staff, but it has been a lot for Mac Jones to handle, and he's handled it beautifully. I think MarrChase wins this award, in my mind, if he doesn't have as many drops as he's had this year. But look, his production speaks for itself. Kyle Pitts should be mentioned as well, Gary, but I'm going to go with Mac Jones at this point.
Yeah, it's Mac Jones, MarrChase, both of them in the conversation. I would throw Jalen Waddle in there as well. He's got a chance to set the record for receptions for a rookie. So it could be an SEC quarterback or an SEC receiver. That seems clear.
You start at number 1, or should I say the number 1 team in the country?
Yeah, it's both of those. Baylor Bears, your reigning national champions. Evan, as you know, they lost 4 starters off of last season's team, including 2 NBA guards. And I, like most others, assumed they'd be good, but I don't know that I expect again. They're great again. Sitting here heading into New Year's Day, undefeated, ranked number 1 in the country, despite the fact that at least the key players are almost all new faces. Kendall Brown, a 5-star freshman, James Akinjo, a transfer from Arizona, and the players that they returned, among them Matthew Meyer, have basically all taken the jump you'd want your returning players to take. Incredibly, Scott Drew was able to build that program into a legitimate national title contender, and then they pushed it through last season and got that championship. Now he's got a chance to win back-to-back titles. It's nothing crazy to think that Baylor is the best team in the country once again.
Stocking stuffer number 2, GP, a little something for Big Blue Nation.
Yeah, Oscar Tshiebwe, the transfer from West Virginia, has been tremendous in his first year at Kentucky. He's averaging a national best 15.5 rebounds per game. He got 28 rebounds against Western Kentucky inside Rupp Arena, which set a Rupp Arena record for rebounds in a game. Think about some of the people who played in that place. Shaquille O'Neal, Anthony Davis, Karl-Anthony Towns, DeMarcus Cousins. Those last 3 players I mentioned are obviously former Kentucky stars. I'm not sure Tshiebwe is the same NBA prospect that they were, but at the collegiate level, he is literally doing things that none of those players ever did before.
Stocking number 3, we move from Big Blue Nation to just a blue blood and Coach K's swan song that's got some momentum into what could be something special.
You know, every once in a while, people would wonder, why didn't Coach K just announce his retirement and then retire? Why did he come back for one more season? A, he didn't want to end in a COVID season like last season, especially when Duke missed the NCAA tournament. But B, he knew he had a great team getting ready to enroll, and they have been terrific so far. Sitting here with just 1 loss on the season, thanks in part to the fabulous freshman Paulo Banchero, the young man I believe is going to be the number 1 pick in the next NBA draft. Duke's already been ranked number 1 in the AP poll. Blue Devils are ranked number 2 right now. And, you know, we talked about Baylor being a legitimate national title contender. It's not crazy to think that Duke could win this championship as well. Mike Krzyzewski's got a chance, not the favorite to do it, but he's got a chance to have a walk-off national championship in his final season coaching the Duke Blue Devils.
Not everyone's nice. There are the naughty around this time of year, and that means coal in the stocking. And this isn't a reflection on the Cougars, but some unfortunate luck in H-Town for some of their top players.
Yeah, basically every college basketball program is getting hit with COVID cases that sideline players, but Houston just lost 2 of its top 4 scorers to injury for the season. One of them is Marcus Sasser, averaging 17.7 points per game. The other is Tremont Mark, 10.1 points per game. Again, 2 of the top 4 scorers on the team. They account for 35% of Houston's points per game, and now they're gone before we hit January for the season. Kelvin Sampson is so terrific, and that program is so strong that I still think Houston is the favorite to win the American Athletic Conference. But man, when you lose 2 of your top players mid-season, the way the Cougars just did, it really makes things more difficult going forward than they should have been.
Who doesn't love a good surprise in this stalking? Speaking of naughty and nice, Iowa State naughty a year ago, but looking nice at least to start this year.
Yeah, and we got a New Year's Day showdown. Number 1 Baylor at Iowa State. And it is incredible to think about what TJ Otzelberger has done. He inherited a program that won just 2 games last season under Steve Prohm. He's got him undefeated right now, nationally ranked, and there's a scenario where he could wake up Sunday morning still with an undefeated team coming off of a victory over the reigning national champion and the number 1 team in America. He has been tremendous at Iowa State so far, and Hilton Coliseum is going to be rocking and rolling this weekend.
One more GIF from GP here. It's not a stocking stuffer. This is your FanDuel lineup for tonight.
Yeah, I'm going to start my team with Russell Westbrook. And I know Lakers fans must be saying, what are you doing? But he needs a big game. He's got to be motivated by the criticism. Basically, everybody in basketball is suggesting the Lakers should try to move him. So start there. Go to Andrew Wiggins, Svi Mykhailiuk, Jordan Ward, Julius Randle, Will Barton at Denver. And then Trey Murphy gets good value, I think, at this price. He's going to get about 6 shots in this game. Needs to make some of them, obviously. And then we'll end the roster with Jalen Noel. Perhaps that's the winner tonight at DraftKings.
Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. And don't forget to hit the bell for more videos.